Hey there everyone. Life is kind of rough and strange right now. Well, for most of the year really. Video games can be a nice temporary relief. Not for everyone, but if you're here watching my videos, it probably is for you. This video will end up having some tangents into real life and video game related things, and will probably be longer than other videos I have done recently too, so let's stop dancing around it and get to why I love Ooblets. I've only talked about a few early access games before. I had felt like I didn't want to discuss a game that wasn't finished. I've obviously made a few exceptions to that, but from here on out I don't think I'm going to care about it at all. I was thinking about this when I heard there was a game, Neverynth, that ended development. See, it's a game that I enjoy, and I feel like it could use some more work for sure, but to me it had enough potential for me to buy it and hope that the improvements came. But sales never picked up, so the development is now over, and it isn't really complete. I feel bad for the developers because their game didn't reach the state they were hoping it would, and I feel bad for me because I never got to play the game that they intended to make. Ooblets won't have this issue, knowing the little details we do about the general deals with Epic, but still, I feel if I can shine some light onto any game in early access that might give it a boost, I should try. Anyway, Ooblets is a game I have been watching for a long time, and I was excited about it from minute one. So imagine my feelings when it was announced that it was going to be an Epic Store exclusive. That's right, I didn't really care. I know there are legitimate complaints about Epic as a company and the store itself. I don't want to diminish people's issues with Epic or anything like that, unless your only issue is that the Epic Store is not Steam. And I'm not here to talk about any of those specific issues. The only reason I bring it up is because the game went to the Epic Store and the developers made a poor decision about how to tell everyone that. It wasn't a great move, but playing the game and seeing how sassy it can be kind of fits the tone of the game. But then, #gamers took things too far, like they can do, and responded to the announcement with death threats and racial slurs. Listen, if I completely disappeared tomorrow, I just want to let everyone know that sending a death threat is never okay. Just don't do it. It does not matter if you're joking or very serious or any other excuse you have. I don't care. It's never appropriate response. And if online discourses about literally any subject out there could at least never use a death threat again, that would be a huge step in the right direction. Okay, I said this video would have some tangents, but I guess I didn't really imagine that they would be the first two things I talked about. So, what is Ooblets? Well, it's kind of like Stardew Valley mixed with Pokemon. I personally find it a little bit reductive to discuss games in terms of other games, but it's pretty hard not to do here. You're presented with a town that needs a little bit of help. You stroll in to take over the farm no one was using, and go forth about fixing up the town by farming, foraging, and crafting. The town is filled with people you can make friends with by talking to them every day, giving them the occasional gift, and completing tasks they request of you. This portion of the game is pretty standard, really. You have probably seen the tasks and requests in other games. It does do everything well, so it's enjoyable. You're presented with a few possible plants to grow and a few recipes to craft, and both of these expand over time. The town folks are very nice to you in general, but especially at the start. You're given many gifts of little things that help you getting started. People also give you tasks to do pretty quickly, so you won't spend much time without goals if you don't know what you want to do in the game. I also wanted to mention the specific act of planting and cleaning up your farm. The way they do it here is so nice. You go into a farming mode where you can very specifically pick the square of land you're working with. I've many times hit the wrong location when farming in Stardew Valley. Maybe I'm an idiot, or maybe it would be nice to see the exact square you're going to manipulate. Point is, I like the clarity of the system and how simple it makes the act of farming. But the real star of the game is the Ooblets. You aren't just farming to get a better house, to make the town folks like you more, or to save the whole town. See, things you farm and craft can be used to get more Ooblets. You grow them on your farm too, so I guess they're your plants as well? Anyway, Ooblets are the Pokemon aspect of the game. However, in Pokemon, where you beat up and capture said Pokemon, in Ooblets it's all about the dance battles. You can find an Ooblet about town, and if you have the requisite items, you challenge it to a dance battle. The dance battles play out through cards, kind of like Neoverse. Ha! I bet you thought I was going to say Slay the Spire, but no, I went for a different deck building game. A game I might end up talking about at some point in the future. Anyway, the card battles are pretty simple and straightforward. You assemble your team of ooblets that dance against the opposing squad of either wild ooblets or a team held by another farmer? Grower? What do you call the people that run around with ooblets? They aren't trainers like in Pokemon, and not every person is a farmer like you. I guess I missed this answer, or we just don't know it. You need to match the number of ooblets you're dancing against in number, so if they bring 5, you bring 5. You draw a hand of generic dance moves for your ooblets every turn that cost a certain number of beats to play each turn. Your goal is to get a set number of points before the other team. You play cards that are dance moves, that score you points, boost how many points your cards are worth with hype, or hurt the other team by adding useless cards to their deck, stunning them, or making their cards cost more, or lowering the value of their cards with flusters. Each ooblet brings their own unique cards to the deck, and you get more of them as they level up, so you can build your squad of ooblets to fit a playstyle. Maybe you want to have a wide variety of cards to use, or maybe you want a team that is focused on one type of card. Point is, if you really want to, you can build a team that fits a specific playstyle. You don't have 100% control over the decks you build. I have found some extra cards to add, but you mostly have control by choosing which ooblets to add to your team. That pretty much sums up the mechanics of this game. Now, if the game were just Stardew Valley with Pokemon shoved in it, it probably wouldn't be anything all that special. But here, they've done a very good job of melding the ideas together. Ooblets are integrated into the world you're taking part in. Most everyone you'll meet will have their own little troop of ooblets following them around. People are seen dancing with wild ooblets in the town. The ooblets will help you on your farm, running certain machines, and if you give them an oob coop, they will tend a small area of crops for you. The mayor even sends an ooblet to you to deliver badges that you have earned. Obviously, you need ooblets to dance against the other ooblets to get more ooblets. I guess now is as good a time as any to discuss the tone of the game. The game is very silly, relaxed, and cute. The first reason I mention this is the dance battles between the ooblets. The game says how much ooblets like dancing and implies that we couldn't stop them from their dance battles even if we tried. So we just do our best to help and encourage them in their all-consuming dance hobby. Everyone is pretty silly in this game. They have a goofy way of speaking, and I find it quite charming here. This game, in the way it uses language, reminds me a lot of Adventure Time, which is great for me. I love that show. But I guess I can see how this really goofy way of communicating could rub someone the wrong way. If you're worried about that, you should look at some footage of the characters talking to each other to get a feel for if this is your thing or not. Things are also named in a similarly goofy way, but their names generally tell you what those things do, like Stay Soggy is a fertilizer that keeps the ground wet. Oob coops are coops where ooblets hang out. Besides things being cute and silly, I mentioned that things are pretty relaxed too. There are goals, and you can end up with a lot of them on your plate at once, but there's no real rush. You can complete goals whenever you get the stuff, they don't have time limits. Okay, there are little daily tasks you can use to earn wishies, and those have to be completed in the day you're given them, and I'll talk about that later. But otherwise, the objectives don't have time limits. You can focus on these goals you are given, or you could do things like farming just to get the materials to build your favorite ooblet team, or maybe you just want a really big house. Do whatever you like. Even the battle system is pretty relaxed. No one gets hurt, everyone wants to be there, and you're very nice to losing wild ooblets, telling them they did great when they give you their seeds. The game is also very kind to the player, reassuring even. As an example, when you see the end of day, your option to progress reads, "I did good." It's silly, but reassuring. The game also does a good job of rewarding you in your tasks. You get little rewards for being friends with people, and for what are basically achievements in the game. These are spaced out pretty decently, so you aren't overwhelmed with rewards, and they're not too sparse that you're left waiting for the next one to come. The game provides a nice little getaway from the stress of life. I've enjoyed my ability to relax and have some stress-free fun with this game. Now, all this said about the game, there are some issues I would like to talk about. The nice thing about this being early access is that I can hope that some of my complaints are addressed and don't remain complaints forever. So, friends will give you the occasional task to complete, but until you complete that task, you won't be able to talk to them again. This can slow the friendship process, especially if it is a task that can take days to complete, like where I have to give plants to Mead, and the plants take 7 days to grow. It'd be nice to still be able to talk to her in the meantime. She should at least understand that the seeds will take some time to grow. Maybe just complete task as an extra button when you approach a person, and leave the talk button the same. The next is the daily tasks I mentioned before. Since they appear to be random, they can give you tasks that you will have no way of accomplishing that day. It'd be nice if there was some amount of control on these tasks. Maybe if there was a way to cycle out tasks that you don't think are possible that day, or hold on to a difficult task for a larger reward. We don't need full control over this, just a way to change things a little bit. There's also a lot of wandering around in the game, which is pretty much no problem. It's cute and the right size, so it isn't a chore to go anywhere. But you do find little things to collect as you do this, one being recipe pieces. These unlock new things for you to craft, and it does a good job of giving you a reason to explore the town every day. The problem I have is specifically with the recipe pieces. It takes 4 of those to craft a recipe, but while you're searching for that final piece, they take up a slot in your limited inventory, which is kind of annoying. Why can't there just be a little tracker for them in your inventory that doesn't take up your precious space? And unless they're used for something new in the future, why don't they automatically turn into a recipe when you get 4 of them? These would just be little convenience touches for that system. Next is an explanation of things. It'd be nice if some of the items were explained a bit better. Like, I crafted a sprinkler, and it just said it automatically waters crops. I didn't know until I was placing it that it waters the 8 spaces around it when you put it down. The Oob Coop was a neat place for me to put ooblets, but I didn't really understand what it did. How you can use it to have your ooblets take care of little portions of your farm, until I unlocked the upgrades. Then there are some things in the dance battle. Some cards aren't super clear, and some effects aren't super clear either. As example, I didn't initially quite understand the ideas of hype and fluster. I feel like most things in the dance battles are pretty clear, but maybe if there was some glossary of systems in play, there would be no confusion. I hope these things are cleared up in some way in the future. It's always very nice when you can figure out or are told how something works in a game within that game. The last major improvement I would like to see is to the Ooblets accessories. You get little things you can put on your Ooblets, and they're very cute, but they do take up space in your inventory until you put them on an Ooblet. I don't know why they don't just go into something like an Ooblet wardrobe. You can buy yourself accessories to dress up, and you just have a wardrobe tab to change into stuff whenever you want. Why not the same for Ooblets? Plus, that would make it easy to dress them all up the same if you wanted a team uniform kind of look, or if you just want that one accessory on 2 separate Ooblets as part of that look. Why not just let us have total freedom with dressing our Ooblets up? I guess there are some bugs, like people bumping into stuff if something is in their path, and sometimes my character takes an extended pause opening a door if I'm not in the exact right spot. While recording this video, I also had a couple of hang-ups and weird little glitches, but I haven't had anything incredibly major like a crash or a save wipe or whatever. These are just all suggestions for things I hope to see improve in the future. This is an early access game, so I expect things will change over time. I guess if you watch this video in 6 months, the game could be very different. But this is the game as of right now, and I'm having a great time with it. I think the way the farm lifestyle genre has been blended with creature collection works very, very well. There was always something fun to do in the game, and it's easy for you to pick your own direction. You're given plenty of goals and plenty of rewards for doing them. I didn't even mention the wishies system in the game. As you do your daily task and earn badges, you get wishies that are a special form of currency. You have a wishy well where you can spend them for new recipes, personal upgrades, new ooblets, new seeds, or maybe just a few more gummies, the standard currency around town. It's a nice way to reward the player for accomplishing tasks, but it also allows them to pick which rewards they want. Rather than demanding you complete Objective A to get an upgrade to your movement speed, you can complete any objective you want whenever and spend the wishies on that specific upgrade. The rewards are satisfying, the farming is enjoyable and easy to manage, and everything to do with the ooblets is cute and fun. The game is just very cute. It has a silly, sassy, and odd tone that I love. The music is weird, in a very good way that fits the tone of the game so well. Taking a break from the real world to enjoy some very chill time in the world of ooblets is really nice. Listen, I just really enjoy this game, and I think it's worth your time. I'm looking forward to the updates to this game that will fill out the world. If you like a more easygoing game, games like Stardew Valley, or you have the desire to collect them all, you should really give this game a try. And if you don't want it on the Epic Store, it should probably hit Steam in like a year or so. That seems to be how it's been with the other games. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, do all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, share the video about. I feel like I have to do this little bit every so often. So I was initially thinking that this video would be a little more off the rails, but when I sat down to type it out, I guess I focused a lot more than I expected. I swear there was one more thing I wanted to talk about that was a tangent, but I forgot. I also think this video is pretty long. I don't actually know at this point. In the writing, all I know is that there are a little over 7 pages of script so far, and in the recording of audio, there's been about 25 minutes, but that's mistakes and whatever included. I guess I will find out how long it is in the edit. Now I just have to try to figure out what game to talk about next. There are a few things on my radar that I'm thinking about, but I think I need to do a lot more of playing the way too many games I own. Join me next time